Now let's get some analysis on these key races. Chris Stirewalt, NewsNation political editor, joins us now. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
All right, he hears me. That's good to know. It's a dead heat in the Nevada Senate race, and that could be a tipping point as to which party takes the majority in that chamber. So what do you see happening there? How has it gotten so tight of late?
Well, I think this has been a tight race from the beginning, and this one was going to go pen to post. The Republicans picked a famous name, statewide elected candidate in Laxalt. We didn't know what kind of candidate Laxalt would be. He had been a little unusual in some of his tenure and some of his enthusiasms for election denialism and all that kind of jazz. But he's run a normal campaign. He's run as a pretty normal Republican. All you have to do to win in close races this year is basically be a generic Republican and be a normal Republican. And Cortez Masto doesn't have anything like the kind of depth of support and depth of organization that her predecessor, Harry Reid, had. And it's not what it used to be for Democrats in Nevada. So you'd have to give, and basically tie goes to the runner, tie goes to the Republican in a race like this.
Well, yeah, so Harry Reid built up that infrastructure over decades. In fact, he won his Senate seat from Adam Laxalt's grandfather, Paul Laxalt. But less than a year after Harry Reid has passed, you think that the Democratic machine there that he was able to build up has fallen apart or is just less influential? Where do you stand on that?
She doesn't have the swag that Harry Reid did. Catherine Cortez Masto is a pretty generic Democrat, right? If Laxalt is running as a pretty generic Republican, she's a pretty generic Democrat. And one of the other things you have to remember in Nevada, no state is more affected by the depredations of changes in housing costs than Nevada. Remember, the two counties that count the most in Nevada, you've got Clark County and you've got Washoe County. You've got Las Vegas and you've got Reno. These are both places where boom and bust cycles hit people really hard in the housing markets. And Clark County is not having a great run as the housing market slows down. It's not having a great run as people pull back in their leisure spending with Las Vegas. So Nevada is a good barometer for how those sorts of economic factors play out in a midterm.
Absolutely. I was working there in 2011, and the economy was terrible, as you know, from the Great Recession, and they elected a Republican governor who said he was going to balance the budget, and he did. Let's move on now, though. We're breaking records for early voting, it's tracking like a presidential year, especially in Georgia. So what do you make of this early voter turnout looking like a presidential year when it's actually just a midterm?
Well, it's hard for me to accept it. But the data that we see, the data that we're getting in are consistent, which is we are on track to exceed some presidential years. You know, when times are good, turnout is low. When times are bad, turnout is high. That's just one of the truths of politics. And we are on track to have the kind of midterm turnout. You know, midterm turnout is usually about a third less than a quadrennial presidential year. We are on track for midterm turnout to exceed the presidential turnouts in years between 1988 and 2000, when Americans were very content and therefore voted in very low numbers. So those things, I can't believe it when I see them, but it's consistent and it's true. And if that's the case, what we know to be true then is that both sides, every likely voter, every strong partisan is going to vote. They're all going to show up to vote. That's good news for Democrats in the sense that it mitigates some of the Republican advantage that they were experiencing from an enthusiasm gap at the beginning. But it means in the end that if the breeze is blowing in a Republican direction, that their voters are going to be there. And if all they're doing is fighting at a higher margin, the advantage still belongs to the Republicans at this point.
And one more very quick question here, Chris. I know we got to go, but doesn't that throw off polling if you have way more people show up to vote than the amount that you were expecting? Doesn't the polling then take a hit?
Well, our job is to figure out what the turnout's going to look like. The job of every pollster and every analyst is to figure out what does the electorate look like. And right now we have to take a serious look at the fact that, as you say, we could have a presidential level turnout in a midterm year, and we have to work accordingly to come up with the right model.
All right, that is Chris Stirewalt. He's in D.C. for us. Chris, thank you very much for that.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.